So today what we're going to do is we are going to react to MLB's top 10 shortstops heading into the 2020 season. For the past couple weeks, they've been releasing their top 10s for each position, and I figured shortstop's a good spot to start with. It's my favorite position. They have two of my favorite players in baseball in Lindor and Baez. So I figured let's just start with shortstops. It's an exciting position, and it's actually a really stacked spot in baseball. So top 10 from MLB, we're going to react to it. And if you enjoyed today's video, thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy MLB content. And in the comment section, I want you to tell me your top 10 for shortstops, because I want to see where you guys agree with MLB, disagree with MLB. And along the way, I'm going to also give my top 10. So I want to see where you guys agree with me and disagree with me. So there's that for the comment section. If you missed the last video, I graded every single team's offseason moves so far. It's going to be up here in the top corner. And all social media links, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat are down below. Go and give them a follow if you haven't yet. So, number 10, Paul DeJong of the Cardinals. And I can see why he's at number 10. He's definitely improved defensively at the shortstop position. I think that was the one thing that was really holding him back. Another thing that's holding him back is his average on base percentage. It's just not really good. Last year, you're looking at 233. Yikes, that average is a little low. The good thing about him is he hits for power. He hits for, he's got some pop in the bat. 30 home runs last year, almost 80 RBIs. It's just he's such a streaky hitter. He's got to find that consistency, and I can see why that's really dropped him down the list. So for me, I can see why they put him at number 10, but I definitely want to see some more consistency with the bat if you want to move up in the list. So I could also see why he wouldn't make the top 10, but I think 10 is a good spot for Paul DeJong. If you can find more consistency and keep that glove developing at shortstop, I think this is a good spot for him, and I think he's going to be a really good shortstop heading into 2020, 2021 as well. So number 9 is Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros, and the big thing for Carlos Correa is he can't stay healthy, and I can see why they've really dropped him down the list in the top 10 rankings, because I think Carlos Correa has the potential to be a top 5 shortstop. It's just he can't stay healthy, and that's really holding him back. When you look at his stats when he is healthy, he puts up crazy good numbers. Last year, he only played in 75 games, and he hit, I'm trying to look at it right now. He hit just stupid numbers. 280 for average. His OPS was 926. He had 21 home runs in 75 games. It's just insane. I had to double check just to make sure I was going to give you the right stats. But you look at Carlos Correa, he has the potential to be a top 5 shortstop in the league. Great with the glove, great with the bat. Just can't stay healthy. So I can see why they put him at number 9. And, if he could play a full season and continue to put up these good numbers, he's definitely a top 5 shortstop, because one of the best arms in the league. Like I've mentioned, he's really good with the glove. And obviously he shows he can hit. It's just he can't stay healthy. So number 9, I can see why he's there. Number 8 was Jorge Polanco of the Twins, who's really starting to develop as a shortstop offensively and also defensively with the glove. Defensively, I think there was another thing that was holding him back, especially as a shortstop, but he's really started to show that he can play that position and play it pretty well. Would I say he's one of the better fielding shortstops in the league? Definitely not, but at least he's improving and he's showing that he can get better. Still only 25, 26 years old. He's putting up good offensive numbers. You're looking at almost a 300 average last year with an 841 OPS, home run at 22, almost 80 RBIs as well. The guy can hit the ball. He's still young, he's developing, and I can see why he's squeaking in there at the top 10. I think this is a good spot for him. I think in the top 10 makes sense. Definitely not top 5, but maybe 6, 7, 8 is a good range for him. He's definitely putting up good offensive numbers, and he's showing that he can play the shortstop position pretty well as well. So I can agree with the number 8 spot for Jorge Polanco. Already, number 7, Gleyber Torres, and I feel like this guy could have moved up a couple spots. I think number 7's a little bit low for him. Everybody knew offensive wise he was going to be a great hitter. Like, he's shown that he can hit the ball at a great level. I mean, you look at his stats last year: 38 home runs, 90 RBIs, 271 average, I believe it was, and an OPS at 870. 278 for his average. I double checked just to make sure, and his OPS is really solid. So he's showing he can hit. Everybody knew he could hit. And the thing is he going to be a second baseman? Is he going to be a shortstop? Is he going to be a third baseman? And I can see why they dropped him down a couple spots, just because defensively he's not the top of the top. When he's not a Carlos Correa. He's not one of the better shortstops fielding wise. He's definitely improving. He's showing that he can play shortstop at a good level. I just think that if he can really develop that glove, keep up that offensive ability that he has shown, he's definitely a top 5 shortstop in the league. And I feel like even now he could get that debate. Is he a top 5 shortstop in the league? So if he improves that glove, I definitely think he could get in there. But I can see why they did number 7, but I definitely also see why there's an argument to move him up a couple spots. So Gleyber Torres at 7, it's an okay rating. We'll talk about my top 10 at the end. Number 6, Fernando Tatis Jr. And don't get me wrong, the hype is there. The thing is, obviously struggled with injuries last year, but the hype is there. He's like a human highlight reel. Everything he does is just exciting to watch. He's an exciting player to watch. He steals bases like crazy. He's just always trying to get that extra bag on the base pass. He hits for power. He hits for a good average. He plays an incredible shortstop with the glove. So all the tools are there. It's just he's got to stay healthy. And I think this one's a little high. I think number 6 for Tatis is a little high because he only played half a year last year. So if you're saying Correa with about a very similar amount of games is number 9, but Tatis is number 6, I know Tatis put up a little bit better numbers than what Correa did, and Correa has battled injuries in the past, but Tatis, after just half a season, it's tough to say that he is a number 6 shortstop in the league. He definitely has the potential to be a top shortstop in the league, but I think this one's a little high for me. I can see why the hype is there and why they put him there, but I think he needs to drop down a little bit. So for me, number 6 is a little high, but they're hopping on the hype train, and I can see why they put him there. So number 5 is one of the players that's really making a name for himself, Xander Bogaerts. And you look at his last 2 seasons, he's putting up very solid numbers. High average. Last year he hit for 309 with a 939 OPS and 33 home runs. The guy is really hitting at an elite level. Defensively, another player who I can see why they dropped him down a little bit. His glove isn't the best. It is very, very quickly improving. I didn't like the way I phrased that. It is developing very quickly. It is improving at a good rate. He's showing that he can play that shortstop at a good level. Like he's showing that he has a glove, and he is going to get better. He's only 26, 27 years old, and I can see why he's cracking the top 5 spot. Again, for me, I feel like he could crack and, maybe move up another spot or 2. He's showing that he is a very good shortstop, and I'm all aboard this hype train for Xander Bogaerts. This guy is very good. I can see why the Red Sox paid him as much as they did. This guy's insane. He's a really good shortstop, and I like what he's doing. Crazy good offensive numbers, developing very quickly at short with that glove. I like the Xander Bogaerts hype train. Like I've said, like this guy is going to be a shortstop for the future and just continue to develop. This guy's a scary bat. This guy's a very good player. I like it. So number 5, I can see why they put him there, but I think he can move up a couple spots as well. So this one right here, number 4, Marcus Semien. This one's all about riding the wave from last year, because Marcus Semien prior to last year was around a 250, 260 hitter. He was putting up okay numbers. Like he was very consistent. Like that's what you were getting with him. He was very consistent, played a bunch of games, very healthy all the time, played a good shortstop, had a good glove, and just the offensive numbers were decent. They weren't like above average. There was nothing too spectacular about him, but you weren't getting below average production. You look at what he did last year, he got a couple MVP votes, just had a good year, 285, almost a 900 OPS, hit 33 home runs, 92 RBIs, and he had a good year. Can he keep it up though? And does he deserve to be number 4 on this list? And I don't think so. Do I think he's a top 10 shortstop? Maybe. But I can see like the ranking here is all about riding that wave last year. And the thing is, I just don't know if he's a top 5 shortstop in the league. Don't get me wrong, he had a phenomenal year last year, but does he rank above Xander Bogaerts? Does he rank above who else? Like Carlos Correa? Does he rank above Gleyber Torres? And I just don't know. I can see that because he's barely misses a game, you can rank him above Carlos Correa. You can rank him above Gleyber because he plays a better shortstop. But for me, I'm not really sold on Marcus Semien just yet. If he can put up these numbers again, then maybe I'll start to ride the hype train a little bit more. But I don't know. For me, this one's pretty high, and I just don't agree with it. So number 3 is the Chicago Cubs shortstop Javier Baez. Again, a very exciting player to watch. Good defensively, And he's kind of I would say a 5-tool player. He's got some speed, good hitter, can field the ball. Like, he kind of has it all. And the thing with him was last year, battled some injuries. He does swing at a lot of balls, strikes out quite a bit, but he still has a good on-base percentage above 300. OPS sits around the high 800s as well. Hits for power, and he's just an exciting player to watch. And I can see why he's ranked number 3. Again, as a Cubs fan, I want to be like, oh yeah, he's the best shortstop in the league. I know he's not. I could see him even moving down to the 4 or 5 spot just because there are a lot of good shortstops in the league, and a lot of them are developing very, very quickly. Javier Baez is 27 years old. I can see why he still could get better. He can still develop the eye at the plate where he's not swinging at a lot of pitches that he does, lay off that low and away slider. That's like his kryptonite right now. But the thing for me is Javier Baez is a very good player, and I understand that, but I feel like he can move down a couple spots as well, because I feel like there's a couple other players who can move above him. One of those players being Xander Bogaerts. I definitely think Xander Bogaerts is a little bit better right now than Javier Baez, and there's a couple other ones too. So number 3 for Baez, I'm okay with this ranking. I could also see him move down a spot or 2, but I'm not upset with it. I'm not like, oof, this guy is ranked too high or too low. Javier Baez is in a good spot. Alrighty, so 2 players left, and you're probably thinking, okay, I already know who's number 2. I already know who's number 1. Well, I'm gonna throw you a curveball right here. Number 2, Francisco Lindor. And this one right here, whoa, I'm sorry, what? Francisco Lindor is the 2nd best shortstop in baseball? I don't know about that. I know he missed some games last year from injury, but when he still played, he's putting up crazy numbers. 284, OPS at 850, 32 home runs, 74 RBIs, hits exceptionally well from both sides of the plate, gold glove shortstop, can steal some bases. This guy can do it all. Lindor at number 2, I don't agree with. 1 and 2, there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. Like, if this guy is the top player in baseball at his position, it's obvious, and Lindor is clearly number 1 at shortstop. The guy who is at number 1, I can see why there's an argument for it, and he is a very good player. But the thing for me is Lindor is the clear number 1 shortstop in baseball, and that's just a fact. Like, number 2, who I think is number 2, is close to him. Is close to Lindor, but Lindor is number 1. He just is the complete package at shortstop, and has been for the past couple years. Like, Lindor is the cream of the crop when it comes to shortstop. And I know I said he's one of my favorite players, and you're going to be like, you're being biased. You're just saying that because you like Lindor. I like Lindor because he is the best, and he has shown that at the MLB level for years. So that's why I like Lindor. He can play shortstop flawlessly with the glove, can steal bases, hits great from both sides of the plate. He is who you want to be if you're trying to be a shortstop. Lindor is crazy good, and he should be number 1, not number 2. So let's talk about number 1, Trevor Story. So number 1, Trevor Story of the Colorado Rockies. And don't get me wrong, I can see why the argument is there. Like, he's a great shortstop. He's really developed that glove. He's a really good fielder. Like, I know he is. He's above average, one of the better fielders at the shortstop position. He's got speed. He has that power. He hit 35 home runs last year, 85 RBIs, hit close to 300. OPS was at 917. Those are crazy good numbers, and I can see why there's that argument. You know, he has that potential to be a number 1 shortstop in baseball. The thing for me is Lindor has established himself there. He's a switch hitter. He has that power. He's putting up very similar numbers to what Trevor Story's doing. But the thing is, Lindor's done it for longer, and that's why I'm a believer that Lindor is number 1. And Lindor is the same age, maybe a year younger than what Trevor Story is, and so that's why I'm like, Lindor's doing it, and he's just been doing it for a little bit longer. So, and that's really the only thing that differentiates Lindor from Story, is that Lindor's been doing it for a little bit longer than Story. So for me, I can see why the argument is there, and I can see why MLB said the top 10 shortstops going into the 2020 season, and I can see why they're kind of riding the wave for last year a little bit more than what they've done in previous seasons. But Trevor Story, I think, is number 2. Alrighty, so now that we've covered every single one of these shortstops, you've seen my reaction to the MLB's top 10. Let's talk about my top 10. You probably already have an idea of them, but let's go through them anyways. Number 10, I'm going to go Semien. I can't ride just a 1-season wave too much, especially since he's had previous seasons to prove himself, and he really hasn't shown it. So number 10, Semien. Number 9, I'm going to go Paul DeJong. As much as I love him as a player. I think he's going to be a great player. There's too many inconsistencies with his offensive game, and fielding wise, he is turning into a top shortstop with the glove. I just want to see him, I just want to see him consistent. I don't want to see, every other month being a top shortstop. I want it to be every month, every day being one of the best. Next up, we're going to go Jorge Polanco. I think offensive numbers are just stupid with him. Like, you can't overlook those. He's still developing with the glove. I think he's going to be one of the better shortstops in the game, maybe next year or the year after. After that, we're going to go Tatis. And you're probably saying, well, you're riding Tatis's hype wave after half a season. Why not do it with Semien? And like I mentioned, Semien's had previous years to prove it. Tatis has only played, 80, 90 games, and he showed it every single game that he played. He played at a top level and has all the tools to be a very good shortstop. After that, we're going to go Correa. Again, injuries are plaguing him, and I feel like if he can just stay healthy, play a full year, he would really show he's a top 5 shortstop. Next up, we're going to go Gleyber. Again, I think the glove is one thing that's holding him back. His offensive numbers are just too crazy to overlook, so that's why I'm putting him there. Next up, we're going to go Baez. Very exciting player. He has all those tools. I think some inconsistencies with his offensive game, but he's still putting up crazy good numbers, even though he does have those inconsistencies. Next, we're going to go Xander Bogaerts. I think his offensive numbers are crazy. I think how quickly he's developing in the field is just crazy as well. Like, he's a very good shortstop, top 3 for sure. Number 2, we're going to go Trevor Story and then Lindor. You obviously know why I pick 1 and 2, and that's my top 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below. Let me know your top 10 and your reasoning why. I want to see where you agree with me, disagree with me, and things like that. If you're new to the channel and enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, or no, make sure you subscribe. If you're new and you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button down below, and that's really it, guys. I know I jumbled it all up. I know I kind of made it a mess at the end, but that's it, guys. 2 videos on screen now, my most recent, and also one that YouTube recommends you check out. Go and watch me if you haven't already. All social media links are down in the description, and that's it, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.